So I don't know about you, but I feel like growing up, I had this constant lingering feeling of never doing enough, right? I wasn't achieving enough. I wasn't studying hard enough. I wasn't working hard enough. And there's a lot of that external pressure in our society. And I think it's because we're in a place where most people can't just, have an average career, save the money that they earn, and, be well off in the future. For example, we're seeing more people wanting to become lawyers than ever, right? There's an all-time high in people going to law school and becoming lawyers. And I think that's because in this economic system, right, you can't get ahead on an average salary, right? You need to become an elite member of society, so to speak. And there's a constant pressure to keep earning and keep working, right? There's not as much time to, relax and, build art, right? Art isn't something that I feel like is necessarily valued as highly, right? It almost seems like people encourage you to do art so it looks good on a college resume and it'll look good when you go to apply for this good job, right? If you do music in high school and you're whatever on the school band, right, it's going to look good on a resume, but you're never taught that people value art and, abstract thinking. And I do think a lot of it comes from the monetary issues, right? To keep up with inflation and the debasement of money, you have to constantly keep striving, keep chasing yield, because saving in dollars, saving in currency is never going to get you ahead, right? You have to own some kind of asset that's going to appreciate, or you have to have an elite enough of a career where it's not going to be disrupted as much. It's not going to be disrupted by AI. Your salary, denominated isn't going to, just get crushed in inflation and, just barely let you scrape by in a world where dollars constantly lose value and prices and cost of living is constantly going up. It's constantly out of reach for more and more people over time. And, I think that's the sad way to be. I don't know if, that was kind of just my experience, but I just always had this feeling like you're not good enough, you're not doing enough. And when you value your life in dollars, right, I mean, you don't want to, evaluate your life and what you're worth in dollars, but in such a financialized world, that is, what happens. You kind of measure your worth with your salary, with your net worth in some way. And so when you measure your life, your worth in a currency that's constantly losing value, and, your salary obviously isn't keeping up with the rate that your cost of living is going up, then it's easy to feel down about yourself because you're comparing yourself to these factors and these prices that are constantly going up. And then you're like, wow, I must not be achieving enough. I must not have a good enough job. I must not be, building enough. I'm obviously, not worth that much. And that's why I say I think these monetary issues stem down and trickle down and affect so many aspects of day-to-day life, from how we feel to how we interact with ourselves and with other people, the food we eat, how much we're able to travel, how much art we're able to create and share with others, and, value other people for their art and for their unique gifts and creativity. So I think the monetary system, this inflationary debt-based monetary system, has just taken so much from us. And I do think as the monetary system shifts to something fair, something transparent, something decentralized, and something that no one controls, I do think we will see a renaissance of art and abstract thinking and people creating things because they genuinely want to create them, not because they think it'll look good on a resume or help them get the next biggest job or, things like that. I do think we're going to experience a huge renaissance of human ideas and art, and I'm excited to see how that turns out. But yeah, I guess I'm just making this video to kind of remind myself and anyone out there who kind of struggles with this feeling of never feeling like they're doing enough. And if you're watching this, you are doing enough. You're here, you're, learning about important things. You're, that's a commendable place to be. So yeah, again, and that's why I'm here every day talking about these things, because I think the monetary issues are that fundamental to our daily lives, and more people need to be aware of it and be aware that there is a solution. There is a monetary system that's fair, that doesn't steal from you, that doesn't require you to constantly be speculating and increasing your income just to keep up with the increasing cost of living. And that's Bitcoin. So if you want to learn more, I post daily videos here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss an upload. And if you enjoy this type of content, just leave a like, subscribe, like I just said that. But that really helps out the channel a ton. And leave a comment with any thoughts you have, or if you feel the same way, or any suggestions for future videos or topics I can explain more in depth. But that's about it for the video. As always, together, let's work, save, and build a brighter future with Bitcoin. See you in the next video.